Caesar's bloody death at the points of assassins' daggers cast the Roman world into turmoil and has driven you, our pharaoh, Cleopatra VII, into grief and mourning. Gone is your lover, mentor, confidant, and powerful ally. Octavian, his teenage adopted great-nephew, has been named as heir, but the more experienced Mark Antony, previously a consul to Caesar, has become the nominal head of state, somewhat to the ire of the young Octavian. Not surprisingly, Caesar's will made no mention of your son by him, Ptolemy Caesar, popularly known as Caesarion. Desiring safety for yourself and your child, and, as always, seeking to preserve the power of Egypt, you have departed Rome for Alexandria. Despite all the leagues between Rome and yourself, you cannot leave behind all of its internecine squabbles. Powerful men still vie for power. Your support and the access to the riches of Egypt would be a great asset to any faction. For you to back a winner in this power struggle is critical. Siding with the loser could easily result in the end of Egypt. The dramatic showdown between the rival Roman factions recently occurred at Philippi, where Mark Antony's Caesarians decisively beat the forces of Brutus and Cassius. Antony, Octavian, and Lepidus have now carved up the empire for joint rule, with Antony claiming the eastern portion, which includes Egypt. Not long after the battle, Mark Antony summoned you to join him at Tarsus in Asia Minor, so that you might better explain why you had been slow to cast your lot with the Caesarians. Not one to be summoned like a lapdog, you wisely declined to respond. After all, you know better than most that it is much better to see a Roman under your own terms and conditions, not his. Thus you, Pharaoh Cleopatra, have returned home to Alexandria, to Egypt. It is now time to expand the glory of this magnificent city, founded by the great Alexander, whose tomb is still frequented by visitors. Alexandria's renowned Great Library continues to attract scholars from all over the world. The bright beacon of the wondrous Pharaoh's Lighthouse still burns, so that seafarers can safely make their way through the treacherous waters of the harbor. Now you can further enrich the beauty of the city by constructing the expansive Caesarium in honor of your former lover and your young son. Additionally, ensure your own successful passage into the afterlife by building another mausoleum, so that you can be duly worshipped after your journey into the field of reeds. The next time Mark Antony calls for you, perhaps he will employ a bit more tact?
G'day mates, welcome back to Cleopatra in the expansion to Pharaoh. This is, I believe, the final big building mission before the end of the game. We will have one more after this, but I think that is a purely military mission. So we've got here the final big mission of building, population 10,000, which is not that difficult. I think we've done 12 or more in other cities before. Culture rating is very high, which is a real struggle. Prosperity huge, and of course kingdom rating. Now, I think the kingdom in this particular instance is going to be the Romans. We need to keep them on side. We have 2 monuments to build, so let's dive right on in and have a look at what we're going to find. And oh, my loyal soldiers have rejoined me. I don't know if that means very much, but we will have a quick look at it. I'm going to pause this just now in case something happens and ticks over. Okay, it's still up there nice and beautiful. Looks like we have ourselves a dynasty mansion already built. Everything else is still in place as before. Let's have a quick glance around this map. I think these walls have actually been thickened and they've had towers placed on them. They were just an individual thin wall before, so they are looking quite nice and mighty, but it looks like while Cleopatra's been away, the city has completely burnt down. So we only have the wonders remaining. We've got a little bit of farmland, same as normal down here. I think I'll have a little farming village down here to take care of everything. I may even have another one up here as before, because they did provide a lot. I'm going to need a hell of a lot of farmland and food to provide everything for all my people. And, well, that's pretty much the map. I don't think it's changed substantially. We've just got a little warship island over here, and our gods. Let's have a quick look at our gods. We have here Ra, Ptah, and Bast again. Ra still our patron. Do I need... Yes, okay, so I need to send off a few things. 2 monuments. Let's have a look at those monuments. Actually, who could I build a temple complex? Only to Ra. Some missions do allow you to choose. So the mausoleum again is going to be another big one. I could put it right next to it, possibly even opposite. But that may not look very good, I don't think. And of course, this Caesarea. Oh, that's huge. Like a pyramid. Don't know where I'm going to put this one. No idea where I'm going to put this. I think I am beginning to run out of space. Remember that my last city had 7,000 or 8,000 people, and it sprawled across this entire area. So we may need to push them further out to the city outskirts, out here perhaps. We will see how we go anyway. So I'm going to actually just have a quick look at the world map just quickly. I'll go through this in my own time later. But what resources do we have? Okay, barley farming has come back. It disappeared, went out of favour for a little while. It appears to have come back. Is there still clay? No. So the clay has magically disappeared again. So it wasn't there, then it was there, now it's not there anymore. This is... it's a pain in the ass. You know what? Nothing seems particularly difficult or different from earlier missions. So I'm going to build up my usual 2 housing blocks here and possibly a third one down here just to begin the papyrus exports because, ooh, damn, we got a lot of money. But as normal, I don't have any personal funds. They never actually carry over during these Cleopatra missions. So a bit of a struggle here. We'll have to make those go as far as I can. Okay guys, this is how we are currently set up. I've had to destroy a lot of houses I had placed down because I got a little bit carried away and started building the additional block over here, and then realized as well that this up here needed fire and architect protection. So I've set up a third little mini block up here. Now we'll have a bazaar and these people will get looked after eventually, but for the time being we're just going to keep them self-contained there. So a lot of money in houses has actually been laid down and then bulldozed, so lost a bit there. But we are all set up to begin the city. Now down here, I'm thinking of doing a slightly different thing, similar to how I have the papyrus, excuse me, completely disconnected. I'm probably going to do that with at least a couple of farms. I'm going to farm and feed these people with a... Well, I'm not entirely sure exactly how to do it. I may need to probably destroy those and put this over here. I probably didn't think about that very well. So what I'll instead do is connect these people over here. And so that way what I can do is have... Let me just... Can't build and talk at the same time. What I can do is I can cut this off sort of here and here maybe, and have the majority of food being routed up this way via a road connection all the way up to our storage up here, because grain exports look like they will be a large part, and I'll cover exports shortly. But what I can do here is have just a couple of farms going into a couple of little storage yards here, and there's no worry about having a getting warehouse to bring it all the way back down and all that digging around that I was doing last time I was on Alexandria. So we can get this all taken care of right here, and the papyrus as well can be built on this little section over here as per normal, and I'll probably cut it here and there, or I'll figure it out as I go along, make the cuts when required. Now regarding the exports, it's a little bit of a crap map for exports. There's a lot of grain, a fair bit of barley, and other things that can be exported, which is no good to me because they tend to be very low value. They're almost not worth it. I received 21 per 100 pieces, and you got to factor in the fact that you do have to pay people to actually work things. So the amount of profit coming out per item is very, very low. I really need to do massive bulk grain, and that will decrease over time. So early on, I may be able to sell my excess if I smash down quite a lot, but otherwise, we're going to be struggling a little bit here. Now, there are a lot of people who buy luxury goods, which is interesting. Let's just go to the world map and have a quick look here. You will sell me gems, and you will... No, I thought someone else sold me gems, but it looks like there's only one person who will sell me gems. Maybe these guys down here. Yeah, Prennet will also sell me gems. So I can get 2 sets of gems in, quite a few of them, and there are a lot of people who will buy luxury goods now, or jewelry. So I only make 30 Debons per trade, simply because of the cost of it. You have a look here. It's generally not something you ever want to do. I pay 120 to import the gems, and I sell them for 150. So the turnaround is well, it's less than fish. It's only marginally better than grain. But now there are a lot of people doing this. So, Rome, sitting over here floating in the ocean, I think they're meant to be over towards Italy over there. They will buy luxury goods. Knossos will buy luxury goods and papyrus, thankfully, and beer. So those will probably be my two main exports. With I may be able to have a small jewelry industry just to tick things over. They'll buy barley and grain, not worth my time. And I'll buy beer. So it's looking like the two main exports will be beer and papyrus, with a possibility to get some jewelry flowing as well. Excuse me, my throat is a little bit dry today. So near the end of the day, I have been busy, so my voice will be all over the place. But I think if I set up those three, start with the two profitable ones, and then possibly segue into a little jewelry industry somewhere, I might make a little bit of money. It's not a huge amount, but it'll keep my people employed, and it's better than just throwing down work camps to just employ them for the sake of it. At least they'll be making me a very small amount of money. Okay, 1,000 chickpeas have just come in. Excellent. I'll cover that when I just built in a second. So we're a little chickpea, and this is going to be our main food setup area. So all the food is going to be coming in here as per normal. I will probably have the storage yards coming up here, and I think our main dock area is going to be over here with a hell of a lot more storage here that I can bring into and out of at will. I was sort of beginning to tap my storage capacity in the previous Alexandria mission, so I'm going to expand the storage and have more stuff being done off-site and being brought back in and out as required. Now down here you can see that I am beginning to absorb some of this insane unemployment. Now that hasn't even factored in these people that have moved in here, so this is going to shoot up and it's going to drain everybody as soon as they move in, but it should keep us going, hopefully, to get a little bit of cash rolling in. So we've used just over 10,000 Ebon so far, so we are a third of the way through our money with no income source just yet. Okay, this looks like the setup I've come up with. I've been playing around with this for a little while. It looks like these farms here are all connected via roads to fulfill this block entirely. It's probably too much as well, so I can sort of drop a couple of them off as required and connect them up to this lower area. And this lower area will eventually be connected up to our main housing blocks up top. So there's no way for food here to get into this area. So we have a little mini storage and distribution there as required. And of course I can build this out further if I need to bring pottery and various other things down later. So this should keep most of them irrigated. These guys here won't be irrigated, but it's sort of the edge of the map. I can't get any further. So I think that will keep us going. I think this is pretty much the definition of irony. The firehouse caught fire and burnt down and has unfortunately sent everything else going with it. Hopefully the architect's post doesn't go. Requesting barley. I don't think that's going to happen, mate. I think that is highly unlikely to happen. But I will do my best and attempt to get some barley farms down quick smart. Come on. So get those 3 barley farms there. Hopefully that will give us a bit of a stockpile of barley to send off. Yeah, bit of a struggle here. Everything's burnt down. Real pain in the ass there. Interesting to note here, this farmland here is actually irrigated. This one is also irrigated. So ending over here is enough to actually cover quite a big distance around it. So the irrigation does not need to touch every single farm. That is good to know. So every single one of these farms is fully irrigated. And of course, these ones over here are going to give us a shit ton of food. So I'm going to feed these people first to take care of our unemployment problem, which is actually not that bad. And then I'll follow that up with, whatever we've got here should hopefully manage to cover the rest of our people, maybe next year. Okay, requests are coming thick and fast. 10 months to provide 500 papyrus. We do have that, thankfully. I can send it off immediately. But of course, that's going to cut into our future exports. Now, I'm going to need to immediately start getting some transfer for this papyrus done. These people are harvesting. Everything should go in. You, for some reason, do not have access to workers. Oh, it seems to be fixed itself now. Yeah, and that's straw. Yeah, I'll manage that. I think I can deal without a little bit of straw. So we've got a little dock area set up here. These guys appear to be well set up, so I'm going to start throwing down a bunch of storage yards to begin the getting. Okay, we've just been given some luxury goods. I'm going to accept that, and this is where I'm going to throw down my little luxury goods area. So I'm going to start producing No, I'm going to start exporting papyrus first. Now that's going to go to Knossos. They will buy papyrus. They'll also buy beer and grain. So I can export pretty much everything I want over to Knossos. Let's go... Where are we? Papyrus, down the bottom there. You export anything you can get your hands on, which is good. And beer, export that as well. We haven't actually produced any just yet, but the barley harvest has come in for the year, and we will move on to that shortly. Luxury goods, luxury goods. I'm going to keep them on hand for the time being. I'm going to wait till I stockpile up a little bit, and I'll set up a little jeweler industry down here, and that'll allow me to bring in gems and sell off the luxury goods. I think I'm actually going to open that up now. You'll sell them via land trade route, so I don't have to worry about tying up my docks at all. And I can bring in, for now, let's just use one little square worth of luxury goods. It'll probably use quite a bit of cash, but that'll probably actually send us into debt, which I want to avoid, but I don't think I can avoid that. And then it'll allow me to just throw down a couple of jewelers as required to start tackling some of our unemployment, which is getting up pretty high. Alrighty, cash is beginning to flow in a little bit, although the gem purchase has set it back, but I'm exporting everything over 400 for the time being. I'm just a little bit suspicious that they've given us some luxury goods. I'm going to keep a couple on hand just in case, but we are just producing them, ticking over gradually, and that won't eat into our stuff too much. It'll keep our people gainfully employed. And we have a shit ton of papyrus here to sell as well. I could probably even find somebody else who will buy it. Who will buy papyrus? Nobody seems to buy papyrus. Seems it's become a bit of a shit good to sell. I thought there was someone else who would do it. Prenet. And they're 1,500. I may wait until the next year just to make sure we don't duck into debt. But what I was originally cutting back to do is that we've got a lot of unemployment. So I'm going to use this time now to actually set up our little farming area down here. I will do that again when the next year ticks over. We can have all our farms nicely set up to begin tapping this beautiful fertile land here. Alrighty, request for 500 luxury goods. We do have that, thankfully. It's going to cut into our exports a little bit. Yeah, I'm still keeping a little stockpile on hand just in case. If it's going to be 500 request, I suspect there might be more of those. Just have a quick read of what that actually said. City of Rome. So it looks like Rome's demanding tribute of some sort. So I've got the little industry here, so I can send that off quite comfortably. Hopefully they'll send me a bit of a reward as well. I think, I don't recall exactly what the beginning said, but I think they said something like Rome will help us if we support them and choose sides. So hopefully something good will come out of that. Of course, it's not really making us a huge amount of money, but we do have the unemployment. Let's have a quick look at my... Yeah, so even despite spending 5,500 on construction, we are still managing to turn a profit. So that's very, very nice. Yeah, Debins are comfortable at the moment. My only concern is that we're running out of papyrus, so we have been selling it faster than we're getting it. So I think our income will decrease over time. We were making a shit ton of beer. And we've got a lot more barley farms going now. So I think I'll need even more. But hopefully that'll keep our brewers running all throughout the year. Okay, we got a lot of grain coming in. I think it's time that we start selling some of it. I'd like to sell off... yeah, okay, 2,400 is what they recommend. So anything over 2,400 we will sell off. Down here, I'm considering... They seem to be feeding themselves quite well down here. So, yeah, if it starts to confuse the issue, I can remove that and just have another granary here. Or just even have one granary. We'll see how that goes anyway. A gift from a neighbour. That's... oh, there we go. So Rome is going to give us weapons. That's very, very nice. Not sure where I want to store the weapons just yet. So I'll throw a quick sneaky storage yard down here just to accept the weapons. And I can always move that later if required. Okay, looks like we can now trade with Own. Thanks for the weapons. Let's have a... Yep. Let's have a look at what Own will do. Own is up north here. There we go. They will... There we go. That's the sandstone that we're going to need. So they will sell sandstone via land trade route. They'll also buy beer. So I'm definitely going to open up to Own. Sandstone I'm not going to bother with just yet. Actually, you know what? I do want to import it. We'll import to 300 blocks. And I will just throw down the storage yards as I find the cash. But I haven't yet decided where I want to put my my nice big mausoleum. It's going to be pretty big, so I need to think about it somewhere. Wow, would have been nice there, but that's probably in the way a little bit. Could be good over here. I will, we'll see how we go anyway. Maybe, who knows. Okay, looking like we have ourselves a stockpile of grain. We got farms that are ready to drop them off, and no one is buying them enough. So I'm going to start opening up and selling off as much grain as we can. You'll buy papyrus. Yeah, for now, I'm not going to bother with you. You'll buy grain, so I'm going to open you up. And Comey will buy grain and beer, which is great. I'm going to open you up, probably plunge myself into debt at this rate. Athens will also buy grain. Let's just see how much cash we got left. Loads of cash. Athens will also buy grain, and they'll buy nothing else that I want just yet. But they will sell me pottery, which will be helpful later on. I think Rome will also, Rome will buy grain. They'll also buy some of our jewellery. So not that we're tapping our current export partner, but just sell off that grain as well. And that should be more than enough grain capacity. And as we grow, we will need to use more and more of it for ourselves. But I've got these farms just pumping stuff out down here. Probably even throw down a bunch more up this way. So there was a request for 700 beer from Athens before. I haven't been showing some of the more boring requests. If something interesting comes up, I will show it. But this is useful. Athens is now willing to buy more grain from us. So, putting our beer to good use, the loss of profit in the short term for gradual long-term profit, although not a huge amount. Alrighty, exports are through the roof. We're making so much money like you wouldn't believe. I'm beginning to export the straw. Have I started doing that? No, I haven't. I feel like I can do that on the camera. So we're going to begin exporting all that straw. It's worth almost nothing. I think it is possibly one of the cheapest things out there. Let's have a quick look. Straw's worth 16. It is the cheapest thing that we can sell. But you know what? It's a byproduct. No one else is doing anything. If they've bought everything else, which they look like they have, then we may as well sell the straw. I just want to make sure... Where are these guys going? They look like they're buying... It's hard to tell. I don't know exactly where these dock workers are going. Seem to be going a long way. I just want to follow him for a bit. It's hard to follow. Okay, they seem to be getting stuff from up there. What I'm going to do is put a little shortcut in and just roadblock this off so that we don't send our people the wrong way. So that'll give them a little bit of a shortcut, hopefully to get that grain a little bit quicker. The other alternative would be to put the grain storage over here a little bit closer because they are buying a lot of grain. So long distance is really slowing down the docks, as you can see. Might even be worthwhile throwing down something in the near future. I'm going to throw, actually, I think it's about time now to start moving on and getting the... Oh, thank you. I did send off another bit of extortion to the Romans. I wonder if we're going to have military in this mission. Not sure just yet. I'm going to have to see how this goes. Well, there you go. Battle required at Kyrene. Pure chance that I just happened to be building something up here. It's going to be required, aid required within 5 months. It's going to be a ground force though, so I can't send off my docks. What we will do instead is build a little fort of infantry and archers. I'm going to build them outside the city, I think. I'm going to build them far and away down here. I really don't want to clog up the area too much. So I'm going to build, how about... Yeah, I think over here near these asps, that'll allow us to take these guys out. So I'm going to build a little, what was that? It was infantry and a fort of archers as well. And that'll allow us to hopefully 16 and 6. Geez, there aren't not many of those guys left alive. They are veterans. So if I can start converting them over, get the forts running, the recruiters, I can turn these weapons up here into recruitable soldiers. And of course, the heroes have returned. We managed to fight them off. I've thrown down 2 additional forts here, and we can begin training them, turning these weapons that Rome are sending us into a competent military force. I suppose I'll just move this around later. It doesn't look very beautiful right in front of Alexander the Great's mausoleum, but maybe the mighty general of ages past will protect our future troops. In other news, what we're doing now is having a quick look at unemployment, and you'll notice it's very, very low. So at this point, I think it's worthwhile to consider pottery imports. So I'm going to throw down some entertainment, and then we can start converting these to the next tier of housing. Request for fish. I don't really have a huge fishing fleet, so that's a little bit of a dick move, but I'll throw down You can be a, you can accept timber as well, but we're going to make you a fishing acceptor as well. We're no longer going to store fish or eat fish at all. Okay, time for our next big housing boom. I'm going to stop it at the courthouse level, but it is time to begin taxing our people. So I'm going to put the tax rate up to 5%. This is going to drive our unemployment up. I don't want it to be too high. And we need a city palace to be somewhere. It needs to be somewhere nice and suitably stunning. Now, I've misbuilt this area. This area is too large, which is a little bit unfortunate. It should have been another housing block here. I may destroy this and shrink it down a little bit later on, but for now they can stay where they are. And we're going to have a little palace district over here. I think will look very nice right on the edge. It's that bloody annoying sound again, and it's terrible because we're just about to harvest all our stuff again. An interesting request, because of the locusts are attacking, I assume, Mendifair is willing to give us a hell of a lot of grain. We will accept that because we can always sell that off. Although I think our people may actually need to eat it. Oh, look at those locusts. Look at them. There's thousands and thousands of Debons worth of damage they've done. There you go, traded fish for gems. I can always use gems because... Oh, okay. Because it looks like... So I sent them fish, they sent them gems, and they immediately said, okay, turn those gems into luxury goods. Thankfully, we have them on hand, but that's a bit of a dick move. They've just given me something and asked me to upgrade it for them for free. On the other hand, Doom is now a trading route, and we got a little bit of weapons. Thank you. I can see if I've also moved things up here just in time for that. Doom will sell us flax, which is good, because I think there's only one other person who will sell us flax. They'll also buy additional jewellery. Kind of useful, I guess. And another food source might be useful later on in the game. You'll buy papyrus. Yeah, not very useful just yet. Doom, I'm not bothered at the moment, but when we do need flax at a later date, they will come in handy. Cerebit Kadim will sell us more pouches of luxury goods. That's not actually a bad thing necessarily. I'm not using it just yet, but if I decide to up my my luxury good production here, which I possibly can do later, then it may be more useful to me. Request for 800 linen, that's a little bit annoying. I have not set up to do that. For the time being, I'm going to import the linen. We'll import to 800, that's all I need. And let's throw you somewhere. Just had a request for troops to Bahari Oasis. It's only a small attack though, so we can quite easily take care of that. I'm going to send out 3 full groups and leave the infantry behind, just in case we get more weapons in future. I've decided to change things around a little bit from last time. I think the palatials are going to be built over here now. I'm going to have them, at least some of them, butting up against this temple complex here. Removed a couple of houses to fit that in quite nicely there. So struggling on getting the food down, but 2 bazaars should be sufficient to take care of that. Either way, I think we're going to have the palatials put down over here, and I'll fit a couple of them in. How many do I need? 6 of them. Okay. So I can do the same sort of setup. I think I did it up here last time, but I'm going to bring it down and bring it a little bit more central this time. Okay, I've had a couple of gifts of marble, so I think that is the game telling that it is time to begin working on the monuments. So the Caesareum's pretty big, and I'm not really sure exactly where I could put it. I could put it over here, which would be nice, but I'm concerned that I'm doing a little bit too much in this area over here. It's going to be very monument heavy. So I thought the other option would be to put it somewhere out here. I could move these 3 buildings here and just have it placed nicely right there on the crossroads. I think that might look kind of cool. And I could put the mausoleum down here somewhere. That might be good, and have a couple of housing blocks there if required. Although we're not going to need too many more. Our population is shooting right up. So I think I will... I think I will relocate... I can't actually have them when it's already built. I will relocate this one over here, throw the academy there, firehouse and architect's posts as required, and then just move those 2 there. And then I'll throw it in right here. I think that will be, thank you Rome, I think that will be exactly what we need. And there we go, the Caesareum is finished, and it is a beautiful, beautiful looking monument. A little bit of granite at the end of these mini obelisks, a lot smaller than actual obelisks in the game. But look at that, that is just a spectacular looking building. Celebrate the union between Egypt and Rome, yes, 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 okay. With that, I think we're done. We can probably stop importing granite, and I think it might even be worthwhile to actually start exporting the rest of this marble. We're not going to need it anymore from here on out. Now, do I have enough sandstone? I do have enough sandstone, so I'm going to have to throw down the next monument at some point in the future, but I'm not quite sure where I want to build it just yet. I'm thinking somewhere down here might be nice and tasteful, but I'd like to throw another housing block in before I get that far. Okay, I think I have decided where we're going to put it. We're going to throw the mausoleum right there, and I hope that is now facing the correct way. It should be facing downwards, so the entrance will be down here, hopefully. Yeah, it should be, and if not, then whatever, we'll deal with it. Now, what does the other side of the monument look like? I think it actually just rotates to face whichever direction I'm on, so yeah, it makes no difference. So it'll face the right way regardless. There really only are two facings of this monument. So this will have a nice little monument square area over here. Got the festival square built in. I would like to probably beautify this area up with some plaza later, and then we have a beautiful little setup. And I think with that we'll be able to consider throwing our noble block down here instead of over here. And there we go. The mausoleum is finished. That's looking very nice and beautiful over here. This is all built in nicely, and excellent. So I think we're going to have a little noble quarters here in front. I can actually stop with the sandstone at the moment, so we'll stop importing it. No one will buy it, so everything that I have imported is a waste. But I can comfortably get rid of all that stuff now, and we can set up our own little noble quarters over here to make it look nice and beautiful in front of the Caesareum, the festival square, and the big ass mausoleum over here. Okay, we got ourselves a nice healthy little nobles quarter here. We've got, of course, our palatial estates, but I had a little bit of space here and it just fit so perfectly that I didn't want to move it out a little bit further. So I threw in two statelies here as well, without planning to level them up. And a little palatial, it's only a modest, doesn't matter, it can be a modest estate in the centre. I could probably move things around and level it up, but I didn't want that extra pavilion there just because I thought it looked really nice. So a little bit of variety, not all palatials. But some of you may be asking, that is just not enough palatials. Sure, it'll win the mission, but it's just not very impressive, is it? So I thought I'd throw down another little palatial estate up here. And it's going quite nicely. This guy here will be a modest estate. Rather than delete him, I thought, again, a bit of variety would be nice. For some reason, unfortunately, these big monuments, as I've said before, just don't provide any desirability to the area. So while they look very beautiful, it's not actually helping this dude level up at all. Well, I've reached that point where I'm ready to win, except that for some reason, these guys do not have access to a library. So we have the library here. It does have papyrus. Just going to education overlay. Have a look overall. We've also got a school here with papyrus. For some reason,
this city earns bears.
This city is cool.
Where is the librarian? Yeah, it looks like our librarian is not spawning for whatever reason. I got no idea why, but it is preventing me from winning this mission. So yeah, I have no idea what to do. Okay, looks like the only way I could get it was to destroy the library and rebuild it. It is down to 20 papyrus again. I don't know if that is a bit of a bug where it gets to 20 and it can't get any more in. But I've also stopped selling papyrus as well, just in the hopes that it will build up. Although I did stop it a little while ago and it didn't work. Either way, that's working over here. Meanwhile, this guy over here is just not delivering anything at all. There's a school here with 0 papyrus, a rebuilt library with 0 papyrus, and a storage yard with 800 linen. It's on his way back, so I don't know where he's going. I think he's delivering to, must be every bloody school in the region. So who knows what's going on here exactly, but it looks like that they are struggling a teeny little bit here. So I've got 2 schools here, two dudes, so they're delivering everywhere, but they seem to be delivering all the way down here and stuff. I probably would have been better off just setting up a little library area over here that was only accessible to this this papyrus. But I think what they're doing is they're coming all the way down here and stockpiling the papyrus down here rather than, excuse me, rather than allowing this school to do it. Either way, we are there and we have done it. So all that is required, we've got our 8 palatial estates. We would have a lot more if the thing wasn't completely balked up. We've got our culture, we've got our prosperity, which is falling because I needed to stop exporting papyrus. Our kingdom rating is maxed and our monument is ready to be sent off. So we've got a couple of weapons. We've got a hell of a lot of linen we can dispatch off. Gems we do not have enough of, which is unfortunate. I probably should have stockpiled a few more. We have more than enough papyrus and we have a lot of luxury goods. Hopefully I can get those gems in shortly before the entire city begins to collapse. And now the gems have finally come back in. We did have a bit of a problem before where all mortuary access was completely lost to the city for some unexplainable reason. But we've done it. We're here. We can send that off now. And with that, we should have completely won the mission. It's time to go onwards to victory.
The splendors of Alexandria and the fate of Egypt are in good hands under your direction. As expected, when you finally blessed Mark Antony with your presence, he paid you proper homage while seeking your financial aid in furthering his goals. In fact, he became so enamored of you that he has come to Alexandria to be your companion and lover.
Yeah, just what I've always wanted, Mark Antony to come and be my lover. Yeah, it's probably not a very good reward, but that is the mission done. We built the Caesareum, we've built the Mausoleum, we have completed the final Alexandria mission. It took 650 months, which is a pretty long time, but I did sort of just trickle along slowly, doing bit by bit as we went along. So that was it was a beautiful mission, a beautiful city. And that is the end of it. So I'm going on to one final mission after this one, and I believe it is going to be the final military battle of the entire game. So feel free to tune in next time, and I'll see you there. And as a little end of video bonus, this will be the last big city we're ever building. I have gone through and filled out the entire area within the city walls. This entire city is built up. We've got housing blocks of all different sizes, shapes. We've got gardens and statues built around. This place has been absolutely beautified. I will let you savor the city build up, and I'll call this video to an end shortly.